This is actual buried treasure. I kid you not. Hello everybody, SilverPicker here, and welcome to the SilverPicker Squad. Now, today's video is really something special. This is something that I have not ever encountered in my entire life. Now, what you see before you, this chest over here, it looks like it's the box to some kind of drill or something. If you look over here, you'll see that aside from the fact that it's really heavy, you'll see that there's dirt on it. There's actual dirt on it. Now, why is there that dirt? This, my friends, is literally buried treasure. So as you guys all know, a big part of my silver picking business now is in coins. I still buy lots of gold, silver, scrap, all that kind of stuff, but really my passion and the niche part of my business is really coins. And at this point, because I've gone to so many garage sales and met so many people, estate sales, private purchases, all that kind of stuff, I get a ton of referrals. And this is the result of one of the most interesting referrals I have ever gotten. So what happens is I get a call from this guy, and he says that he was ready to sell his father's coin collection. So I talked to him a little bit. I'm trying to get a sense of what the value is, trying to get a sense of how much I'm going to be spending, of, you know, what kind of coins does this guy have? And he tells me an incredible story. He says that his father collected coins over the years and amassed quite a bit of silver. And he was always a little bit paranoid that it would get stolen, and, you know, not totally unreasonable. You know, he had seen break-ins in his area and decided that if he was going to protect this silver investment, he had to do what the pirates do. That's right, he buried it. So he got this case, 12-volt rechargeable power cube, or whatever it says, some kind of drill case, really heavy duty. You can see, I mean, look at the age on this, look at the dirt. I mean, there's still dust on it. And he buried it. And he buried it in his backyard, and I kid you not, this was in the ground for almost 10 years. I think he said it was something like 8 years when his father buried it, and when his father passed away, he knew to dig it up, so he called me up and told me to come and take a look at the coins. And I was not disappointed, and you guys will certainly not be disappointed either. So let's take a look. Unlatch these heavy-duty latches. You can see there's rust all over them. And take a look in here. Feast your eyes upon that. Do you see this? Do you see how deep this is? This is all dimes, all silver dimes, mercury rosies, all sorts of stuff. I already know, because obviously I paid him a fair deal, and I will tell you, I've been getting so many requests for telling people how much I paid for stuff that at this point I am willing to tell you guys. But you're gonna have to wait until the end of the video. Haha, how about that? No, you guys are always asking me how much I paid for stuff, and I often don't say it, so in this video I promise you by the end of the video I will tell you how much I paid for this collection and how much I think it's worth. But I will tell you that I bought based on the silver weight, and I haven't gone through it with a fine-tooth comb yet. I mean, there's tons of stuff. All these envelopes have different coins in them. I mean, we can take a look at one of them. I mean, just half Franklin 1962D. He had it listed as $10. I don't know if that's what he paid for it or that's what he thinks it's worth. But anyway, you can see in here, we got 3 Franklins. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, just tons and tons of coins. We got silver dollars, we've got dimes, and a mess of pennies. A ton of wheat cents. And if that's not enough, it also came with this retro coffee can, which I think was actually the guy I bought it from. I think he collected some of these wheat cents, but there's a ton of wheat cents in here. So I'll give you the highlights after I've gone through of everything, but I can tell you that, I mean, there's like 50 silver dollars, there's like 100 silver quarters, and the real crazy thing again is those dimes. There are over 3,000 silver dimes there. So yes, guys, public service announcement, I will be selling a lot of these and I will be giving good deals. So, you know, shoot me an email at thesilverpicker@gmail.com if you're interested. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of cool stuff to look at. I'm really, if you can't tell by my voice, I am really stoked about this collection, and I really think you guys are going to enjoy coming along for the ride with me. So stay tuned. Okie doke, so let's get started. Now, I think this is actually a really good starting point because it gives you some insight into what I do when I buy a new collection. When I buy a new collection, you'll be able to see here how I start to break things down. So with wheat cents, for instance, I'll take 5 cups and I'll start sorting them by decade. So I'll put the 50s in here, the 1940s in here, the 30s, the 20s, and the teens, and when I'm done, I have it in an organized way by decade, and I can just toss them in sacks or roll them up and mark them with the particular decade that they're in so that I know in the future when I want to sell them what exactly I have. Okay, so take a look here. Now this is the stuff that I'm describing as a little more interesting. I will say I didn't get anything super amazing, but I am happy with this little haul. So first off, we got some of these books as usual. I always like to look and see if there's anything with a nice patina on it or some nice toning. Sometimes these books give the coins really nice toning. In this case, they've been in a damp place. Like I said, this was actually buried, so they're in not great shape, and none of the real key dates are in there anyway. So, you know, these are just more wheat cents to be thrown into my bags. Over here, however, we got a ton of steel cents. Now this is an entire roll of steel cents. I don't have to take all of them out. Most of them are in pretty crummy condition. I mean, you can see that it's kind of corroded, and that's probably a function of the fact that they were underground for a decade. But some of them are fairly nice, and I always love these. I think it's just such a cool piece of history. So I'll probably sell these all in a lot on eBay, or if any of you guys are interested, drop me a line and I'll sell them to you. Over here are some of the more interesting ones, though nothing too wild. This is, I just wanted to show you guys because, I don't know if you can tell, but it looks almost like that there's some kind of plastic coating on it, and I found about 20 of these coins in the rolls, and I think that these probably came from someone's collection many, many years ago where they either polished them or put some kind of lacquer on them to display them, because on the back you can see that there's nothing, but on the front there are like these super glossy, washed looking coins. Obviously not worth anything extra, probably worth less, but I just thought it was kind of interesting. Also here, this cent, I got really excited. I thought that it was some kind of error, but it's actually just in some kind of bezel, and it was dipped to be silver looking, and it was probably a necklace at one point. So nothing too special, but kind of cool. This one's just kind of beat to hell. I thought it was kind of interesting. It just has all these pock marks. This is just a very, very nice 1955. Unfortunately not double die, but it's in really, really nice shape. So I'll probably put that off onto the side somewhere. Now here we have a couple of error coins that I'm really, really excited to show you guys. Some of them are more distinct than others, but I think it's really still interesting. So over here, you can see we've got a little bit of a lamination error. Going right down there, you can see that big chunk. That is not post-mint damage. That is actually a really, really solid example of a lamination error. So I'm really, really into that one. Got to see how much it's worth. Not too sure because it's not in excellent condition otherwise. Now over here, you can see that we just have a very, very off-center 1919 cent. Now unfortunately it's also in pretty worn condition, but you can see that that's a solid 10% off-center. On the reverse it is not. So I don't think this is worth too much, but it's still kind of cool. Now over here, I'm not 100% sure this is an error, but I have pretty good feeling about it. And it's a 1943 steel cent struck through grease. As you can see, the 4 is missing, even though the rest of the features in the rest of the coin are pretty still pronounced. It's not really that worn, but you can see that the 4 is almost completely invisible. Really cool. Now this one is the one that I'm most interested in. And you can see, it's going to be really tough to describe this one on camera, but basically the rim is totally normal, but the coin is like it's been worn for years and years and years. Almost all of the details in the fields are missing. As you can see, the date is almost completely missing. Liberty and Lincoln are very, very worn. But as you can see, I hope you can see, the rim is still totally intact. like it's never been damaged. And the back, the reverse, is the same. I don't know what kind of error this is. It's like almost like struck through grease, but for the entire coin. Very, very cool. I need to do some more digging on this. Maybe I'll post some pictures on my Instagram and you guys can take a look and let me know what you think. Now, last but not least, on the Lincoln Cents, or I should say that's all that there is for the Lincoln Cents, but last but not least, I get this roll and I start freaking out. Flying Eagle Cents, and I think, oh my lord, I just got an entire roll, or almost an entire roll of Flying Eagle Cents. Well, unfortunately, and you know, it's funny how disappointments work, but it's all Indian head cents. None of them are key dates, but I absolutely love finding Indian head cents. And normally, if I had an almost complete roll of Indian head cents in a collection, I'd be tickled pink. But of course, when you see Flying Eagle cents, it's kind of a letdown when each coin isn't worth $20 or $30, but instead worth $1 or $2. But anyway, I'm really, really happy with this. These I probably will sell. I'll probably sell them for $1 a piece, and I'm really happy with that. So anyway, that's all of the copper that I got in this collection, and we're gonna move on to some of the silver coins. All right, so let's see, what else do we have in this old treasure chest? I say we go with the halves. All right, I have gone through all of the halves, and I'm very pleased with what I got. Now, there's no key dates or anything particularly rare, no errors, and I didn't look for any varieties, but there is a lot of variety. And what I mean by that, of course, is that we've got Walkers, we've got Franklins, we've got 90% and 40% Kennedy halves. By the way, excuse any of the noise in the background. I'm shooting outside today. I do that from time to time when it's really nice out. And of course there's going to be some noise, but it's so beautiful out. Come on, cut me a break, right? Now we actually got some older Walkers, which I'm very pleased with. These two don't have dates. I mean, these are real slicks. But these two, we've got 1917, we've got 1918, 1934, 1935, and the rest are in the 40s, and of course we go into the 50s and 60s with the Franklins, and the late 60s with the Kennedys. But they're in really nice shape, and the thing that I'm really, really excited about are here. Take a look at this. Look at this beautiful rainbow toning on a lot of these Franklins. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but there's a really, really nice rainbow patina to these, especially this one. I mean, take a look at that. And the reason for that is, of course, these envelopes. The envelopes have acid in them. The envelopes allow moisture in. The envelopes are real environment. They are not hermetically sealed environments, so you get sometimes really nice toning. Now, of course, in other cases, you get some ugly coins like that, so I totally understand why you'd want to keep your coins in a very controlled environment, but occasionally you do get some of these beautiful colors, and I'm really, really pleased with these. So that's that. Now I am going to sell all of these, so if you're interested, of course, you know what to do. Shoot me a message or send me an email at thesilverpicker.com, and we'll get this all sorted for you. So let's move on to the next set of coins. Is there anything better than the sound of silver coins clanking together? Seriously. Sorry, I just had to do that. Alright, I have gone through all the quarters, and I will say there's nothing particularly exciting about this collection of quarters. Basically, these are just junk silver, and for those of you who don't know, junk silver refers to the fact that there's no numismatic premium above their silver value. Not, of course, that these are junk. These are fantastic, fantastic silver coins, but there's nothing really interesting from a numismatic perspective. The one thing that's interesting about this particular collection, though, is that they're all mostly from the early 30s through the early 40s. Generally, when you buy a collection of Washington quarters that are silver, you're going to get 1 million from 1964, from the 60s in general, and not as many from the earlier dates, but in this case, it's almost all from the early dates, so I'm pretty happy about that. One other really kind of interesting thing about this collection, and this is just something strange that I like to share. I like to share all the strange things that I encounter with collections. Now, you saw how meticulous this guy was about labeling all of his coins and everything, but look here. Almost all of the coins in this folder are in with the reverse showing. Very strange way because you can't see the dates, so it's a very strange way to display these coins, especially because it seems that some of them he does put in with the obverse showing, like in most collections. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So certainly got a little over 100 of these silver quarters. These are of course also for sale. And of course, how could I forget, these two Standing Liberty quarters. They're both Type 2 versions, which means they have the 3 stars below the eagle. Nothing too crazy about these guys. They're not in amazing shape, they're pretty worn, but I actually love the design of these coins. I love this era of coins. Don't you guys? Alright, let's move on to the next set of coins. And back into this box we go. Alright, what is left? Alright, so it looks like we've just got dimes and silver dollars left. And I think it makes sense to cut the video here, and we will do a second video after this one. And you know what? I'm going to release them both at the same time. Normally I'll wait a week, but I'm going to release both of them at the same time because I want to make sure that you guys get to see the whole collection at once. So I hope you liked part 1 of this video. I am so psyched about this collection. It's just so massive, and I love the fact that the collector who owned it originally was into it, and of course that this was literally buried in the ground for a decade. I mean, how much better can you get than that? So if you're new to this channel, I really want to welcome you guys. I want you guys to consider joining us here in the SilverPicker squad. We do all sorts of stuff related to coins, related to silver, to gold, to jewelry, to bullion, to going out and picking, and generally just becoming more financially secure on your terms. So join us, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so that you never miss a thing. Check me out on all these social media, and of course, until next time, SilverPicker out. And stay tuned for part 2!